People who are really about this kind of need, skateboarding just kind of naturally pulls them in. So for those of us who feel unmotivated because we haven't been getting any better, one of the best things we can do is not be so So Tony Robbins theorizes that there are 6 human needs that drive all human action. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look into how these needs relate to skateboarding. Now only 4 of these directly relate to skating, so we're going to be touching briefly on the other 2, but really want to focus on these 4, explain it to you guys, and give you actionable items, because for those of you who have been feeling unmotivated to skate, this will be particularly useful for you, because by understanding what brings us the most joy, by understanding what really motivates us, what drives us, we can use that to be better at self-motivating ourselves to go skate. So stay tuned, guys. Now it's not like people are just confined to one need. All these needs really drive people, but really there tends to be about 2 or 3 needs that really stick out to people the most. And so for skateboarding, the first human need is growth. This has to be the most common amongst all skaters. Now, because how many of us just love that feeling of learning a new trick? How many of us work, like after working so hard and getting that feeling of landing and rolling away, it feels so good. Honestly, I think it's the most important because I couldn't imagine skating without getting any better. Think about it, after we learn a new grind, we want to learn how to 180 out, we want to learn how to shove out, we want to learn how to flip into it. Or after we learn a flip trick down a stair set, we're always thinking about what's the next stair set we can do. We're always trying to push it. We're always have this kind of mindset of growth. We also want to do bigger and better. People who are really about this kind of need, skateboarding just kind of naturally pulls them in. So for those of us who feel unmotivated because we haven't been getting any better, one of the best things we can do is not be so focused on the results, because typically as skaters what we do is we tie all of our success based off if we roll away with the trick or not. But just because we don't roll away with the trick, just because we don't get it that day, doesn't mean we aren't getting any better. Now here's the problem with that, is because we start to tie our success to things out of our control. So if we could tie it to things that are within our control, for instance, if whether the amount of tries we try it, the amount of time that we try it, or whether we give it 100% of our effort or not, that's something within our control. And that's how we can find more joy and find more success in skating. So how can we do this? The action item for you guys today, if you're this type of person, what you can do is just push yourself 1% to doing something new and uncomfortable for yourself. If you get it, then cool. Like as long as you try pushing yourself towards that, you'll automatically start to feel better if you're this type of person. So for instance, if you have like switch nose slides on lock, try it going the other way that you normally don't get out of, or you can try to shove out, something like that, you know, or just take a trick that you've never done down a curve. Just push it 1% towards something new and uncomfortable, and don't even think about the land. Just focus on trying something new. Now the second human need is connection. Now this is really big for skaters because how many of us just love being with the homies, you know, having a good time with the homies. Skaters love this. I think that's been some of the most fun and exciting times of my life, have been just the nights where I've been out with my homies and just skating a city and not really worrying about anything else but having fun. You know, we didn't have to be skating all crazy and stuff, but it just felt really meaningful just to be with the homies and just have a good time. Skating is really awesome for that. And that's how I made friends around the world too. If you guys want to check out that video, post up somehow, you can get it around here. For some of us, it's hard to find people to go skate with because sometimes our friend groups quit. Sometimes, you know, they don't want to skate the spots that we want to skate, or sometimes they just can't skate at the time you can skate. So for those of us who are, you know, trying to look for more friends to skate with, I think one of the best things we can do is just have an open mind and be willing to meet new skaters. For the action item for this one, for those people who are really motivated by connecting with people, what you can do is when you're over next at the skate park or whatever skate spot you are at, just say one extra sentence to a random skater that you normally wouldn't say. So if you just say, hey, what's up normally, then you have to ask, like, literally say what is on your mind. I think one of the best ways to start a conversation is just literally say what's on your mind, because that's how conversations start. It's never this kind of like pre-planned way, because if you look at how you talk to your best friends, you never have a plan. It's just kind of what goes on in your head. And eventually, you'll find the right people that are down to skate with you. Now the third human need is the need for uncertainty. These are the type of skaters who just love exploring new places, skating new spots. Now, I remember there's this period of my life where I had only skated at my local skate park every single day, and when I was stoked on learning new tricks, but it lacked the sense of adventure that I craved. I based my whole channel off of this, off of exploring new places, because I just love that feeling of adventure. And while sometimes finding a new spot isn't always the best, because sometimes you just don't find a good spot to skate, it's still just experiencing something new feels good to me. So for those of us who strongly identify with this need, what the action item is is to just pick a new spot and go skate it. Pick a spot you've never been to, because here's the tough part though, is that sometimes we just limit ourselves to what is familiar, what spots are familiar, you know, the local skate park, stuff like that. And what this is going to require though sometimes is that to go by yourself, because sometimes people aren't down to go on this adventure, you know, people aren't down to seek new things to go skate. Go by yourself and then check in with how you feel after, because if you're someone who's really motivated by this need, you'll find a sense of fulfillment just by going somewhere new by yourself. And eventually, if you do the action item from the previous need, you'll be able to meet people who are down to skate with you in these new spots. Because trust me guys, if I had ever waited for someone to go with me to a spot, I would never go. So get out there and try it. Now the fourth human need is probably my least favorite. It's the need for significance. This is the type of skater who posts his skating on IG and then will check his likes really often. And it's the really type who always wants to feel like to be the best skater, to be just an awesome, amazing skateboarder. Now the reason why I don't like this is because it's validation seeking from others, from outside sources. The reason why that's a problem is because you're dependent on what other people think of you in order to feel good, in order to feel important. So for those of us who are driven by this, myself included, because I remember there was times where I would go skate, I would be primarily motivated by the likes, by knowing that if I get this trick and I post it, people are gonna like it. And I was more motivated by that than actually just the actual trying to land and skate and just do the trick. There's a time where I was really about that, and so even nowadays, it's like we all kind of feel it, because we all want to like get our clips and we all want to post it, you know, we all want to post it, you know. It'd be a different story if we just filmed it and just had it for ourselves, but you know, we want to post it, we want people to check it out, we want to feel good, you know. It's something all people can relate to, this desire to feel important. But for those of us who are driven by this, it's important then to really give that validation, make ourselves feel important from within. So how we can do this, how can we do this? That validation, what you wish other people would tell you, what you got to do is tell it to yourself. And one way to help with this is imagine what you would say to your best friend if your best friend felt like how you did and they were seeking validation from outside. I found that thinking like that really helps come up with what to say to ourselves. It's very important what we say to ourselves. Now the last two human needs that don't directly relate to skating, but we're gonna mention it anyway, is the need for compassion. These are the type of people who just like to help others without expecting anything in return, teaching other people how to skate. So that's kind of one way you start to see this kind of person who has a really need for compassion, to be compassionate to others. The second one, desire for certainty, desire for safety. Now you'll typically notice like a lot of moms are like this. They really want things to be, there's a kind of a routine. They want you to know where you are at all times type of deal, you know? You wanna make sure you're safe. Now, we all have a need for this on a certain level, but I just can't imagine it with skating, because then skateboarding, it requires so much, like going to new places, putting yourself at risk to danger. But I will say though, I have seen I remember there was a time where I would just go to the skate park every single day. Like that's the kind of routine, because I knew like if I went there, I just felt like I would be learning tricks, I would have a good time. It was like kind of like my playground that I go to after school. And so that's kind of how certainty can reflect it in skating. You know, you may know some skaters who just skate the same spot every single day, and they may be doing the same type of tricks every single day. But even then, I just can't see it being very common among skaters to just like that kind of routine lifestyle. But if you guys are, let me know in the comments. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching with me to the very end. Take these action items out and let me know how it goes. I actually really am interested in your feedback. Let me know in the comment below what type of needs really stick out to you the most. Like which ones do you think you really are driven by the most? But yeah guys, hopefully you can recognize what drives you, and then you can use that to motivate yourself to go out there and skate more. But yeah, after you really understand what drives you, let me know in the comment below what that is that drives you. And until then guys, this is Hendo Grows, another episode. I'll see you all Friday. See you guys, bye.